Hello, everyone. My name is Anthony Iozzia. I work for Windstar Cruises. First of all, I'd like to thank you for taking time to join this webinar. It means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to the CruiseWeb. And also, I'd like to thank the CruiseWeb for allowing myself to present Windstar Cruises and present some of the advantages of doing small ship cruising. So, thank you very much for your time, and hope everyone is safe out there during these crazy times that we're going through right now, unprecedented times. So, like I said, my name is Anthony Iozzia. I've been in the travel business 29 years. As you can tell, traveling is my passion, specifically cruising. I love cruising. I love small ship cruising. It's just a fun way to see the world. 2020 has been not the greatest of years, to say the least, but we're seeing a lot of advanced bookings for 2021 and even 2022. So I'll get right into the presentation to give you a better feel of what Windstar Cruises is all about and what small ship cruising is all about. So this is our flagship yacht, the Windsurf, 5-masted, 342 guests, and just a pleasure to sail on. So you can tell from this first slide that we're a little different than most of the cruise lines out there, to say the least. Today's agenda, we're going to talk about our brand and what makes small ship cruising so popular. Always been popular, but now it's more popular than ever. We're going to talk about our $250 million Star Plus initiative. We're going to talk about Beyond Ordinary Care, which is our health and safety protocol on board our 6 ships. I'm going to talk about our top sellers, which top sellers for next year, and then we'll have a question and answer time frame. So submit your questions. I'll get through as many as I can, time permitting. And any questions I can't get to, because I am on a tight time limit here, any questions I cannot get to, someone from the CruiseWeb will reach out to you and answer your question. So we have a fleet of 6 spacious yachts that hold as few as 148 guests, and our largest is 342. So much different than a lot of the ships that are out there. Cruise lines are making bigger and bigger and bigger ships. Some of them are as big as 6,600 people. Yes, 6,600 people. And when you add the crew onto those ships, they're holding over 10,000 people. They're small cities. A lot of people love those, and that's great. And I used to like them when I was a little younger, but now that I'm in my 50s, I do not want to be around 3,000, 4,000, 10,000 people. So 342 is probably the largest ship I'd want to be on. So we have a lot of like-minded travelers. We have a hand-picked crew. We have the best crew in the industry. They're primarily Indonesian and Filipino, and they're always smiling, always have just a great attitude. They work hard as can be, and we love our crew, and all of our guests love our crew. We have a relaxed onboard environment. Because of the design of the ship, it's so spread out. We have large open deck plans, uncrowded public rooms. We have smaller ports that we visit because the ships are so small. We can get to go to hidden harbors away from the crowds. And we have our shore excursions are in smaller groups. So if you read these last 4 bullet points, we're basically catering towards social distancing. And keep this in mind, this wasn't just implemented in February or March or April after COVID-19 hit. This is the way we've been for 32 years. We've been in business 32 years, and we've always had a relaxed onboard environment. We always had large open decks and uncrowded public areas. We always went to smaller parts and hidden harbors, and we always had intimate shore excursions. So we were practicing social distancing before it was in style to social distance. This is one of each of the ships. We have the small power, all-suite power yacht on the left. We actually have 3 of those, and then we have 3 ships with sails. So this is our largest yacht. It's the Windsurf, 342 guests, 5-masted. It has the 6 beautiful sails. Actually, you've kept the one in the front. We have 7 sails, all outside cabins. All of our ships, we only have outside cabins. There's no inside cabins available. So this is our largest. So to us, this is gigantic. To the rest of the cruise world, 342 guests is actually tiny. This is the Wind Spirit. It's our smaller ship. It holds 148 people. This is 4-masted compared to the other ship, which was 5-masted. And the Wind Spirit has an identical twin called the Windstar, which also holds 148 people. And then we have these two ships. This is the Star Breeze and the Star Legend. They hold 312 guests, all suite power yachts. And there's actually a third member of this family. One of the triplets isn't in the picture, and that is the Star Pride, which also holds 312 guests. We have a water sports platform off the back of all 6 ships. So you get to do all this stuff complimentary off the back. We have the little sunfish sailboats. If you see towards the front of the ship, we have a power boats where we can do tubing and water skiing off those boats, all complimentary. We have stand-up paddle boards, we have kayaks. It's just a fun way to enjoy your ship. I've heard from many, many guests, and I've experienced it myself, that wherever you go on these ships, it feels like there's only 20 to 30 people on board. You feel like you're on a private yacht with 20 to 30 people. So it's just a unique experience where you feel like you're a multi-millionaire cruising on a private yacht, where our cruises are surprisingly affordable. And when you check with one of the travel advisors from the CruiseWeb, they can give you details on some of our cruises on how affordable they really are, but you think you're on a private yacht and living the life of the rich and famous. We're in the midst of a $250 million initiative where we are cutting the 3 ships without sails in half and adding an 84-foot section. So they're going to increase in size from 212 people to 312 guests. And we're adding a bunch of other things, specialty restaurants and new pools, and we're really enhancing the entire ship. 2 of the 3 ships are in Palermo, Sicily as we speak, and they're being worked on. The Star Breeze will be done soon. Then the Legend will be done after that. And then the Star Pride will be going into Palermo to also take part in this $250 million initiative. This yellow area in this diagram, that's the 84-foot section. This is where we're adding the 50 new staterooms as well as other things. We're also redoing all the engines on all 3 of these yachts. So they're not only going to be more fuel efficient, they're going to be a lot quicker than the other ships, or the other engines, so we could stay in ports later on, because we're going to get to the next port so much faster that we could stay a little later in each port, which is a major plus. This is what the pool looks like on the newer ships, the newer yachts. And we also have a couple additional specialty restaurants. We already have the main restaurant and 1 specialty restaurant. We're adding 2 more once we go through this Start Plus initiative. And this is called Quadro 44. It's a Spanish tapas restaurant. And there's a picture of Anthony Iozzia. He's a well-known chef in New York City, and he's in charge of creating the menu in this restaurant. Small restaurant, only hosts 38 people, and it is complimentary. So it is included in your cruise fare. Reservations are required, but there is no additional fee for any of our dining. Another restaurant that we're opening is called Star Grill, and this is where Stephen Rakeland, he's a well-known chef, wrote many, many books, is on TV often. He's like a barbecue expert, grill master, smoked meat expert, and he's in charge of creating the menu for this restaurant as well. So we're very excited to be adding these 2 brand new restaurants once the ships are back on the water after leaving Palermo, Sicily. This is the typical stateroom, the smallest stateroom, believe it or not, smallest stateroom on those 3 ships that are going to be in Palermo, 277 square feet. So they're much larger than your typical stateroom that you have on the average ship. It has a nice sitting area with a couple tables, a couch, and 2 sofas, and a nice sized bed, queen size bed near the window. This is the typical bathroom, a big walk-in shower, double sinks, and beautiful marbles throughout. So keep this in mind when you're booking any of the 3 ships without the sails. These are the pictures I'm showing you now. This is a new suite, a new owner suite that we have on these 3 ships, where it's 1,374 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, comfortably hold six guests. So we're still small, but we're getting a little bigger, and but we're even mightier now with the additional 250 million we're spending on these ships. Now, what are we doing when it comes to health and safety? That's super important in this environment right now. Everyone's concerned about health and safety. We call it beyond ordinary care because we're going above and beyond what the CDC is even suggesting or recommending, because our guest safety and our crew safety is by far our #1 priority. We are following all CLIA, which is the cruise industry leader, and CDC guidelines. We have a new partnership with the University of Colorado, and they're guiding us along the way as we make these changes to our ships. We have an installation of high efficiency particulate air filters, HEPA filters. These are hospital grade HEPA filters, which filter out 99% of the impurities out there. And then we're adding a second layer, which is UVC lights, which would kill anything else that gets through the HEPA filters. And it's also been known to kill coronavirus. So these filters, this combination is the best in the industry. There's no other cruise line that's going to have everything that we're doing to protect our guests. Excuse me, my throat was a little dry. I'm just going to have a little sip of water here. Sorry about that. We're also using EverClean with PureTab for disinfecting all hard surfaces and soft surfaces as well. We're going to disinfect every guest room before they arrive. We're going to be hitting the public areas throughout the entire cruise. Also, the crew quarters will be heavily cleaned throughout, and also the medical clinic area and the wellness areas will be cleaned very, very heavily with this EverClean with PureTab. We're going to have a pre-boarding questionnaire and take everyone's temperature with a no-touch thermometer. We're going to do some health screenings. We're going to have staggered arrivals so people aren't coming in at the same time. We're going to, in addition to the hospital-grade HEPA filters, we're also having additional medical staff on board. The crew is going to be wearing masks. Dining menus, we're going to have reduced capacity at all the restaurants. So we're practicing social distancing like you need to. Our shore excursions are going to have fewer people on board. So the buses and whatever transportation you're using are less crowded. This is a picture of what the new system looks like. We're spending many millions of dollars for these systems. All 6 of our ships will have these systems in place before they ever go back on the water. So keep this in mind. You see on the left here, bottom left, fresh air will be coming from the outside as well as air from the ship. It'll go through this hospital grade HEPA filter, and then it'll go through the heating or cooling system depending on where we are in the world, and if we need to cool the air or heat the air. And then it's going to go through this UVC light where it kills everything, all bacteria, mold, germs, coronavirus, everything will be zapped before it comes back into the ship. So this is a top of the line, state-of-the-art system that maybe some other ships will be installing in the future, but it might be too expensive for some of these bigger ships to install right away. I assume they'll eventually get to it, but being our ships, half of our ships are going to be in the shipyard in Palermo anyway, having work done, perfect time to install these systems. Now I'm going to touch on some of our top cruises. These are our top 5 European cruises for next year. So this is starting up in April of 2021, where some of these cruises go into effect. Our number 5 seller is Yachtsman's Harbors. For some reason, the bottom of it is cut off. Harbors of the Riviera. This goes from Barcelona to Rome. And we hit some of maybe they're more populated than some ports like Cannes and Monte Carlo, but then we hit some smaller areas like Sanary-sur-Mar in the south of France, Portofino in the Italian Riviera. These are places where big ships can't get to. They only allow certain size ships to get there, and we're lucky enough to be small enough to go to these ports that are less touristy and beautiful and less crowded. So number 4 seller is Spanish Serenade. It goes from Lisbon to Barcelona, hitting great places like Seville. This is my personal favorite, Classic Italy and the Dalmatian coast. It starts in Rome, goes down to the Amalfi coast, goes to Sicily. This is a town called Giardini Naxos, which is right outside of Taormina, beautiful, beautiful port in Sicily. Then it goes up to Kotor, Montenegro, which blew my mind when I went there. I mean, just going into the fjord when you pull in is like being in Norway, and it's a great little walled city. And then we hit 3 ports in Croatia, Dubrovnik, Split, and Ravine, before we end in Venice. 8-day program, sells very, very well every single year. Our number 2 seller for next year is around Iceland. This is a 7-night program. You fly into Reykjavik, you go counterclockwise, hitting a different port every single day. And it's just a fantastic way of seeing Iceland. A lot of people like to do this by bus, and every night they're in a different hotel going on long bus rides. Where here you're basically in a floating 4-star boutique hotel / cruise ship and visiting all these great places. So there's no packing and unpacking. It's just a great way to see Iceland. Now, a number 1 seller for 2021, and pretty much is our number 1 seller every single year, is Treasures of the Greek Isles. Phenomenal program. We use the Windstar here, which only holds 148 people, 4-masted, just super romantic, super private. And it's round trip out of Athens and hits a lot of great places like Santorini and Mykonos. Also goes to Kusadasi, Turkey for a really cool event. And we hit some smaller ports and islands where the big ships just can't get into. So if anyone's looking to Greece, no one is even close to offering a product to Greece like Windstar offers. Now I'm going to fly through. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these because I only have a certain amount of time allotted. But these are our top 5 cruises to warm weather destinations. Jewels of the Windward Islands is number 5. It's round trip out of Barbados, hitting Martinique and St. Lucia. See that little island there called Bequia, tiny island. We're one of only 2 cruise ships in the world that go to this beautiful island. Number 4 seller is San Juan and the Virgin Islands, round trip out of Puerto Rico, and going to places like Jost Van Dyke and Virgin Gorda, St. Bart's, Montserrat. I mean, it's just an incredible program. Number 3 is Yachtsman's Harbors of the Caribbean. This is round trip out of St. Martin, going to Jost Van Dyke and St. Bart's and Virgin Gorda. Number 2 seller for this year and for next is Costa Rica, Panama Canal. Focuses on the Pacific side of Costa Rica and Panama, and then does a day crossing through the Panama Canal, ending in Cologne. And our number 1 seller to a warm weather destination is Dreams of Tahiti. This starts in Papeete. We have a 7-day program. We also have a 10 and 11, but this 7-day program is our number 1 seller. And you go into some great islands like Bora Bora and Moorea. We're using one of our smallest ships, our smallest ship, the Wind Spirit. It only holds 148 people with the sails. I mean, you can't find a more romantic way of seeing the Tahitian islands. And here are a couple cruises that focus on USA and Canada. These seem to be super popular now with what's going on in the world. Some people maybe want to stay closer to home. So we have a few popular cruises here. This is Canada and New England. We have some that either start or end in Montreal or New York or Boston. But it's a great program taking in Prince Edward Island and Halifax, Nova Scotia, going up the St. Lawrence Seaway and spending a good 30+ hours in Quebec City. So this is a great program for the Northeasterners that don't want to have to travel too far. People on the West Coast or really anywhere in the country. Alaska is super popular to fly into. We do this program where being our yacht is so small that the state of Alaska allows us to enter these fjords where the big ships can't get into, like Misty Fjord and Kenai Fjord, which is unbelievable. We're allowed to go right in there by the whales, by the glaciers, by dolphins and bald eagles, where the other bigger ships have to stay outside the fjord. They sell you a separate excursion to go on a smaller boat to get in there to be where we've already been hanging out for the last 7 hours and doing Zodiac and kayak tours off the back of our boat, back of the yacht, where the other ships just wish they could be anywhere near where we are. We have a few theme cruises. We have the Monte Carlo Grand Prix. So if there's any racing enthusiasts out there, every year it's held in May, and we've been doing this for decades, and it sells extremely well. We have the Windsurf, so that's our biggest ship with the 5-masted, 7 sails. And that goes round trip Rome, and we also have reserved seats for the race as well in section K, which is one of the best sections. We have a racing commentator on board that gives lectures throughout. So if you're a racing enthusiast, this could be a dream for some of you out there. We are also the official cruise line of the James Beard Foundation. And this is like the culinary experts of America. Like they recognize some of the greatest chefs out there, and they give awards, and they have classes in schools, and we are very, very honored to be the official cruise line of the James Beard Foundation. They selected us because our cuisine, our restaurants, our food presentation is second to none. So they partnered with us, and we're very honored for them to choose us. And we have a handful of cruises where a James Beard chef actually is on the cruise the entire time, doing cooking demonstrations, doing wine pairings, taking the guests out shopping for fish and vegetables and fruits. And so if you have any food, if you're a foodie and you want to go on a cruise with one of the best chefs in the world, keep this in mind, one of these culinary themed cruises. I know I have very little time left. I see the red light is blinking in the corner that I need to wrap it up soon, but I do have a lot of surprising number of questions. And let me see, the first one I have here is from Steve from Cincinnati, Ohio. Hi, Steve. He asked, how family friendly are we? And that's kind of a tricky question here. We are not the most family friendly cruise line out there. I'll be totally upfront with you. We don't cater to children. We don't have any children's programs. If you're under age 8, if the kid's under age 8, we don't even allow them on board. We mainly gear towards couples or single people, like the 40 and over age bracket. We do get teenagers that come on board with their parents or their grandparents, and they have a great time because they love the water sports platform. They love water skiing or tubing off the separate boat that we carry, and the paddle boarding. So teenagers have a great time. A 9-year-old probably would have a good time, but we're not going to cater to them. So thank you, Steve, for that question. Another question we have here is Michelle. Where's she from? Westchester, Pennsylvania. She says, what is included in the cruise? In addition to your meals, that includes the main dining room. It includes all the specialty restaurants is included. 24-hour room service is included as well. You could order a fantastic meal, like whatever we're serving in the main dining room. If you're ordering room service during that time, if we're serving lobster tail and filet mignon, you could order that delivered to your room, and there's no additional fee. You could do that every night. Breakfast, we have great breakfast delivered to your room. Snacks, 3 o'clock in the morning, you want to have some great dip sent to your room, or a steak, we'll deliver it. We also include everything off the water sports platform. So all the kayaking, paddle boards, the little sunfish, sailboats, that's all complimentary as well. What else? All your non-alcoholic beverages are included. So you have cappuccinos, lattes, espressos, bottled water, smoothies, juices, soda. That's all included as well. We do have different types of packages, drink packages, beer and wine packages that are very affordable. If you want to turn this more into an all-inclusive package, someone from the Cruise Web could explain the pricing and what you could get included. We have a package which includes Wi-Fi and laundry service, gratuities, all your drinks. That we have different packages like that. So that's pretty much what's included. We have another question. This is from Rachel from Bethesda, Maryland. Hello, Rachel. She asked, what ships do I prefer, the sails or without the sails? And that's a tough one to answer because it depends on where I am in the world, and it depends on where I am on the ship. When I'm in the staterooms, I do like the ships without the sails because the smallest stateroom is 277 square feet. So you have the big sitting area. I mean, it's beautiful room, and for a ship, it's large, gorgeous bathrooms. So when I'm in the staterooms, I like the ships without the sails. When I'm on the top deck, I certainly love the ships with the sails because they're just gorgeous. It's magical. You see the sails out there engulfing with the wind, and it's just magical. Even when you're on the land, on a port, looking at your sailboat, when you see that sailboat, I mean, people are jealous of you. They're like, wow, you're on that ship. That's pretty neat. So it depends on where I am. I love them both. I can't answer that question. It's like picking your favorite child. I love them all. I love them all equally. I All right, we're running out of time here. The light's blinking even faster. I think I got like a minute left. I'll take one more question, and all the other questions, someone from the Cruise Web will reach out to you and address it individually. So this last question is from Nicole. Where's she from? San Diego, California. Wow. Okay, Nicole. She said, when do your ships start sailing again? Okay. Well, right. Due to the CDC, none of our ships are sailing right now. And it's good timing for us because a couple of our ships are in the shipyard anyway, being cut in half and adding all this great, amazing stuff to it. So the timing is okay for us. But the first ship that's sailing will be the Wind Spirit in Tahiti in October. So that's the first one. We're actually staggering all 6 of our ships. They're going to come at all different times between this year and even the summer of next year. So Tahiti is our first one in October. Then in November, we're going to start doing with one of our other ships. We're going to re-release back up to the 7 Seas. She'll start doing Caribbean, and then we'll start doing Costa Rica and Panama Canal. We have a little bit of Europe in the end of the year in November. Then in the spring, in September, we're going to start going to Europe. So we're going to do some of the programs that I showed you, including even like Northern Europe. We have the Norway, England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. We have some great med programs. So that'll happen. And then in Alaska in June, we'll start doing that time of year. We'll be in Alaska, June, July, and August. So we're staggering the ships. I am dead out of time. I just want to thank you guys very, very much for your time, for joining me today. I also want to thank the Cruise Web for allowing me to present to you guys. This is their phone number. If you have any questions, they can help you out with pricing and picking itineraries. They're my top account, and they know Windstar better than pretty much most people out there. They'll advise you on what ship and what itinerary, and they give the best service, best values out there. So thank you very much for your time. Please stay safe, and I hope to see you on a ship real soon. Bye-bye.